What's up, cognac lovers? Today I'm going to be reviewing ABK6 Cognac's main line of cognac, VS, VSOP, and XO. And if you don't remember, VS is about 2 to 4 years in a French oak barrel. VSOP is about 6 to 8 years, and XO is a minimum of 10 years, which means you can have XOs that are 20, 30 years old, but it has to just be a minimum of 10. This is really cool because these cognacs were sent to me by ABK6, which is such a blessing. I just want to thank ABK6 for even sending me these, as I'm not even a huge creator, and I'm very grateful. And it's such a cool opportunity to compare cognacs at each, age in an oak barrel. So, a lot of people don't know the difference. Or I work a little bit at Total Wine, and I was gonna say, I have so many people coming in. What's the difference between VS, VSOP, XO? What's the age difference? So, a lot of people are getting educated on cognac, so it's a great way to show if you've ever wanted to taste cognac at different ages. So, I'm super excited. Let's dive in. I have all of these poured here. VS, you can kind of see the color there. Light gold, very light, as 2 to 4 years. Usually a blend, so it might average out to 3 there. But very light, as most XOs will be. Not a lot of time, so they'll be the cheapest, but be quite versatile. You'll see a lot of XOs in cocktails. This is the VSOP here. Obviously a little bit darker. Typically VSOPs, people like to sip them, as with the more aging, just a lot more complexity, a lot more depth, but they can be used also as a great way to add a lot of great depth to a cocktail. And then the XO. My favorite category, I'm a sucker for older cognac. I just love it. The wood influences, the lot of depth you can get. Cognac, the crazy thing, guys, I have so many bottles on the ground here because I have a lot to review today. It's my day off. I've tried XOs that don't even, or even older cognacs. It is a treat. Older cognac is probably one of the, I've tried ones that are floral, ones that are super woody, ones that are leathery, ones that have a touch of smoke, ones that are insanely fruity. Like, the amount of depth cognac has is pretty crazy, and it tastes nothing like other brandy. Like, I went to Spain recently, Spanish brandy, good, but nothing like cognac. So that's why it's my favorite spirit. But you see the XO here, very dark, kind of like an orange hue there, gold tint. But yeah, let's dive into these. First, we have the VS here. Pour a little more, make sure you guys can see it. Really faint gold, as most VSs will be. I know, kind of, if you look at like Hennessy, it's like super dark. I'll tell you, Hennessy VS is darker than ABK6 XO. And that's just Hennessy has such a nice dark fruit profile. But don't be worried about like color or anything, because great cognac comes in all different colors and scents, so aromatics. So let's start off with the VS here. Very light on the nose. I'm getting a lot of bright fruit like apricot, a little honey, a little sweetness, like a little like dried vanilla in a way, kind of like a musty vanilla. Not in a bad way, like in a good way. That's nice. But yeah, not too much going on the nose, which is to be expected, but a pleasant nose nonetheless. But most importantly, how does it taste? Very light. Very, very light. That's like, I'm getting like a little peach, a little apricot, honey and vanilla, and a quick finish. Just goes down really smooth. That would be wonderful in a cocktail, especially man, I forget the price, but obviously due to I think it's like 28, something around there, 28 bucks, 30 bucks. That is great for a cocktail. That's also something I can see myself drinking on ice, like during a hot day. Summer is approaching. Like this, This is wonderful. So also something like huge with like that Hennessy ice, like ice cognacs. Really, ice cognacs are just young cognacs that are just made to be great on ice. Really refreshing. So essentially, this is what this can be. You know, they actually ABK6 has an ice cognac. I don't have it yet. I have to get it. It's at Total Wines across the U.S. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but that is definitely something like on a hot day, you just want some refreshing, light, fruity, great flavor. That would be wonderful. But let's dive into the VSOP, which is one of my favorite categories outside of the older cognacs. Not that VSs aren't great. It's my least favorite category. Like if I had to rank them, right? If I had to rank them, just because I just love older cognac, and I'm getting into more cognac content cocktails, you know. So I'll definitely be having a little more VS. You can see the color on the VSOP here, a little bit darker. Most importantly, let's dive into it. You can definitely smell right up front that's an older cognac. Even a little wood here, some baking spice. Like a more dried fruit, like a dried plum, a little prune. Definitely like, you know they don't say exactly how old this VSOP is, but it is night and day between the VS. How does it taste though? Not to move my little pusher here. That is wonderful. Baking spice. Nice, great dark fruit there, like plum. Even a little nuttiness, like a slight hazelnut there too. That is wonderful. That is excellent. Man, that might be the best VSOP I've had, honestly. I would stack that against some of the big brands. Like I would stack that against Hennessy VSOP. I would stack that against Remy Martin 1738. That is great. Very smooth. I would drink that alone, but I know that would also add like a lot of depth to a nice cocktail, like a darker cocktail. I'm trying to think. I gotta learn so much more about cognac cocktails, but I'm trying to think of a cocktail that would be like a brandy Alexander. That would be great. Like, you know, because it has like nutmeg on top. That's wonderful. That's excellent. Let's dive into the XO. Man, I'm a sucker for older cognac. And the thing, like, in the US, you will always see XOs a lot of the time, you know, $200, sometimes even more. But man, when I went to Cognac France, XOs were 70, 80, and you can find some of those, especially at Total Wine, because some of the partnered Spirits Direct stuff, those are cognacs, smaller brands that, you know, kind of stay true to that French, kind of how I saw in France, like XOs, $80, $90, 75. So you can find some great, phenomenal values just for trying older cognac. But we see the color here. Dark orange, you can definitely tell it's older just from the color. Onto nose, oh man, that's so nice. A lot of orange peel in the nose, you definitely get that wood influence. There's a lot going on. Wood, cinnamon, and orange peel. That's what I'd say from the nose. You can definitely tell automatically it's older than the VSOP. But like I said, how does it taste though? Wow, a lot of orange. Definitely get that wood, but nowhere near to the point of like too woody. That's a great amount of wood influence. Nice hazelnut, orange, hazelnut, baking spice, like a nice smooth cinnamon, and a nice long finish. It's still going. Still going. Wow. Guys, that is, I think the XO Renaissance, because they have two XOs. They have a family seller XO and an XO Renaissance. The XO Renaissance, I think, is $190. Yeah, I would pay that. I would pay that. That is excellent. Wow. And the crazy thing is, like, even if, like with XOs, like I said, it's a minimum. So you can have XOs 20, 30, and they don't tell you how to go, but it is significantly, like, it's night and day even between the VSOP. So that factors into the price why it's like significantly more. I believe the VSOP is $50. Like, would I buy the XO at I believe it's about $190. I would buy it at $190. But like for the value, that VSOP is outstanding at $50. I don't know, you know, prices fluctuate, you know, especially if any like tariffs or anything that I can put, but like that at $50, I think I love older cognacs, but I think out of all of these, factoring in value, the VSOP, that is a treat. You get a nice, you know, the nice extra wood influence from the older, but it's like for the money, for $50, and I think the VS is about 35 or even 40. It's not even close. So definitely, if you have a Total Wine near you, these are all at Total Wine. The VSOP, I think, is a standout here. That for the price is phenomenal. The XO Renaissance is amazing, but you know, keep it a buck, guys. I think I'm just a normal guy. I'm not rich. I don't, you know, I have to balance how many cognacs I buy, right? You know, I'm trying to, got my own life and, you know, got a budget, right? That VSOP for the money, easy buy. $190, the XO, it's phenomenal. If you're looking for an XO, I would take this over Hennessy. I would take this over Remy Martin. That is phenomenal. But like I said, value-wise, that's insane. Thank you guys for watching. I have up next, make sure you stay tuned, because I have up next the other bottle ABK6 sent me, the VSOP Year of the Snake. Guys, this isn't even available in my state. I'm in Michigan. I was looking around, like, I was literally talking to Total Wine, like, hey, do you have this bottle? They don't in Michigan. ABK6 sent it to me because I told them, like, man, I would love to review this bottle, but it's not available. They sent it to me. So thank you, ABK6, again. You're not going to want to miss this review. It's a different blend. So it's the VSOP, but it's a totally different blend, and I've already filmed, like, a short video of it. Guys, it's not close. So make sure you stay tuned for that video.